I get a lot of comments on my channels. That's this channel and the other one's called Coupon Pages. For people who love the look and sound of my videos, and they say, why don't you do a video every now and then showing you how it's done, showing people how to make a better looking YouTube video. And it also means better photography as a whole. Now, one of the tricks I have is using a light meter. Now, you may be wondering, what is a light meter and why the heck would I want to use one when my camera has all that stuff as an automatic feature? Well, chances are if your camera has that as an automatic feature, it probably also has an option to turn that off and go manual. So why would you want it to be manual? Well, let's just say this. Your camera makes a guess of the amount of light based on what it sees, which means that if I'm behind if I have a white background, I'm wearing a white shirt, or I'm in the snow, for example, or the opposite, let's say I have a black background, it's going to base the amount of light that it thinks in the scene based on what it sees in the whole scene. So if I have that black background, it's going to assume it's a dark room. But let's say it's a bright room, but it just happens to have a black wall and I'm a small part of the picture. So as far as it's concerned, it's a very dark room. It needs to open up the light. Now my face is going to be overexposed. Or vice versa, if I'm in the snow, it's going to think it's a very bright area and it's not going to compensate correctly for me, the person in the picture. And of course, we all know the routine. If you have a window behind somebody, it's going to be totally wrong because it's going to base the amount of light that's there based on the light behind you, not the light in front of you. That's what a light meter's going to change for you. So what I'm going to show you here, and I probably have to do some stills to show what's on the screen because you won't be able to see it. I'm going to turn on my light meter in this particular room at this particular moment. Now, the light meter is facing that way, towards the camera. And there's a little dome here where it's capturing the light at this moment that's facing me. It will have no bearing on whether I'm on a white background, I'm wearing a white shirt, any of that stuff. Like somebody takes a picture of a bride, she's dressed in white, she might be behind a white background, her face isn't going to be exposed right. So I take my meter while it's facing outward and all it sees is the light coming towards me, and I push the side button. Now I'm going to read what it says, but right now it's telling me 4.0, 60. Which means that if at my current ISO setting, and there's a setting here to me determine what ISO I want to shoot at my current ISO setting, I should be at a 4.0 aperture on my camera if I'm at a 60th of a second. Now, if I move this button up and down, there's a little lever, it also tells me that if I want to be at a 5.6, I should be at a 50th of a second. If I want to be at 8.0, I have to be at 25th of a second, and so on. So I can basically channel up and down, downward being I can go to, let's say, a 2.8, and now if a 2.8 is a really wide opening, because that's the way the numbers work, it would have to be at 125th of a second at this current ISO. Now, what this basically means is if you know you want to shoot at, let's say, a 30th or a 60th of a second, and you want a certain depth of field, and that's kind of a part of another video we'll talk about, but even if you don't know what all that means, you could definitely dial up and figure out exactly which combinations work well. And at this particular moment, I'm shooting at a 4.0, and I'm at a 60th of a second, which is what it originally told me, and that's because I'm choosing an 800 ISO. Of course, I could have chosen a smaller ISO and it would have adjusted all the numbers automatically. So that's how you use a light meter, and that's why you use a light meter, and that's one of the reasons I'm well lit in the first place. And I don't need any of you people to subscribe to my channel. I don't need anything at all, except maybe this chair. And that's it. I only need the chair and maybe this paddleball game and the remote control and the ashtray and nothing else. I don't need anything, and this lamp. But I don't need any subscribers.